welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the NBA bed, baby. We're here on a Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good week. We get a little Bandy sighting here. Bandy got up early this morning with your boy. We already got our morning walk-in. Sometimes he's lazy and we don't get it until post-bit, but it's good. It's good. The vibes are good. Warming up a little bit. Patty Coin said, who's ready to collude today? We got Borland in the chat. Common Man, happy birthday to No Red Panda. That's a great nickname. Galactic's here. Let's go. Yeah, man, everybody's been freaking out about the best ball collusion thing, which is great. Can I tell you my favorite thing? My favorite thing that happened out of all of it is, and I get why, but former OTM founder, former Jolly Joker, Justin Herzig, who, you know, best ball GOAT, has won the BBM, had a big hit this year in Drafters. He offered, as you can see in this tweet here, Justin said, real talk, I'll take a year off from best ball if DraftKings wants to hire me to solve their collusion problem. And I don't know, me personally, I just can't help but think if there was anybody that had access to information that wasn't readily available to the entire public, maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it shouldn't be the bottleneck king, Justin Herzig. That's a throwback, really, to everybody who was back in the Top Shot days. We'll never forget the podcast that went out, or the meeting First Mint and OTM had with Top Shot, and they got the information ahead of everybody, and then he went and scooped up and bought all of those moments that were going to be worth more, which just was, man, that was peak comedy, baby, back in the day. We loved that. All right. Who else? I see I don't know why your name does not appear anymore, but OKLM, here we go. Stan Love's in the chat. We got DJP and Stubbs here. Let's go. And Matic Auto, smoke some. All right, let's talk some hoops. We had some fun ones last night. If you were in the fantasy basketball streets, man, it was kind of a chaotic day, right? We had a lot of questionable tags, like Wemby was queued up, and he ended up returning. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But one of the more surprising ones was the midday downgrade for Anthony Edwards. And they said it was like injury maintenance. And I think we also I think me personally reacted a little too aggressively. I mean, so did Vegas, right? Because I believe the line opened of the Timberwolves favored by 5.5 or 6.5 points. And then when that news dropped, the line shifted all the way down to 3.5. But the injury maintenance thing was I don't know, maybe we should have thought about it a little bit more. But Ant ends up going last night. And I got to tell you, I think after this game, my antenna's up for Miami to start making some moves here. The Timberwolves win this one 122-94. They now move 9 games over 500. And Ant was great. I mean, what was kind of nice for Anthony Edwards is even though he played, right? We were saying injury management or maintenance, whatever the hell. Didn't even have to play 30 minutes because the Timberwolves really pulled away from this game in the second and third quarters. As you can see, right, Miami ends the first with a two-point lead, and then in the second and third quarter, they just kind of take off. And then everybody was contributing for them last night. Ant finishes 5 for 8 from 3. The three-point efficiency continues, 26 and 5 in this one. Rudy continues to be good, man. 13 and 16 in this one. Wow, we got a Chewy in the house. Yeah, OTM did. Yeah, I know. That's, again, we should, there's some real comedy in all of that. Anyways, we get Sunrich and not going crazy saved my night too. I know, man. Me too, because I faded Anthony Edwards for the most part. Ended up breaking even, thank God. We'll talk about that more. Oh, and it's Happy National Bobblehead Day. There we go. Huge for Snoop. Thank you. But yeah, everybody contributed. You know, Randall had a double-double. Jaden McDaniels dropped 19. Naz Reid gave him 14 off the bench. He hit a couple of threes. And as Borland points out, we got Jumpin' Joe Ingles minutes with 2 steals. 2 steals in 5 minutes. Was on pace for like 88 steals or something like that if he played a full game. But again, I feel that Minnesota is good, man. And I keep saying Minnesota and Houston are my two favorite Western Conference bets right now to win the West. And just because of the odds and everything. Minnesota, I feel like has not, and I apologize for repeating myself. I feel like they haven't even been playing great basketball for them. You know what I'm saying? And they just keep chipping away and getting W's, even though I feel like they don't look 100%. And I think the biggest issue for them is they're asking guys who aren't point guards to play point guards. Like if you told me like in the last 4 minutes of the game, Ant-Man, obviously the ball's in his hand, he's going to facilitate offense. Dante DiVincenzo, we want you to run the offense with the second unit, right? That's fine with me too. Like I'd be okay with that. I think they are one adult point guard away from being ready to go. I think part of it is that Dillingham just has not progressed in the way that they would have wanted, right? You're asking Mike Conley, he's now playing 15 minutes off the bench to do a little bit more. And I think it's too bad the Kobe White injury stuff keeps popping up and like he can't get healthy, because I really do think, man, if they made one move for a point guard not named Trae Young, because you can't. I just don't think Trae makes the most sense. I will say you do have Rudy back there to kind of wash away some of the Trae inefficiencies. But we've already outlined, like, not only has Trae been disappointing on the defensive end, actually he's not. He hasn't. It's not that he's been disappointing. We do expect that level of defense from him at this point in his career, but the offense just isn't there. Regulator dropped the Sexton to the Wolves as a rumor. Yeah, that's kind of similar. Same thing with D'Lo, right? That's a similar thing where it's like, it's not, I just want somebody that you put the ball in their hands and everything, like it's taken care of, you know? But I do think they are a fun team to consider coming out the West. Right now, again, being, as Borland said, inconsistent, right? And you look at the standings for an inconsistent team in the Western Conference. Right now, they're tied with the Houston Rockets for the 5 seed, and they're only a half game back from the 3 seed and a game and a half out the 2 seed, right? And so if you were to tell me Delano Banton, Chris Paul, listen, man, gross, LaMelo, not LaMelo either. Maybe we're just at a point in the NBA where there's a point guard deficiency. Is there a true point guard deficiency? Is that what's happening? But anyways, I don't know. I really like what Minnesota's doing right now, and the fact that they're able to keep stacking wins here, even though it doesn't feel like they're 100% yet. Not even 100%. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's just what Borland said. It's the inconsistency factor. But Miami, on the other hand, I feel like they have 32 guys on their roster that can play 25 minutes a game, and no one can be that guy. Like, Norm's been awesome. Norm had 21 points and 4 dimes in this one. Davion Mitchell got the start. They did get Tyler Hero back. We can do the drop for Hero, right? We could do a Tyler Hero drop if I could ever find it. I don't know where it is at this point. We get too many. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But yeah, they get Tyler Hero back. He's coming off the bench. I mean, you got Wiggins out there, Bam out there. But there's just, it feels pretty vibeless. They still didn't have Jaime Jaquez Jr. last night. Hero did play 29 minutes. I mean, that's encouraging. He had 9 boards for Tyler Hero. But Bam has been so disappointing, man. This is like 3 straight weeks of this, and I don't know. I don't know what kind of moves they make. Stan says he'd need to trade for a star or tank, but Riley's too washed up to realize it. I don't know. I don't know. Does the Giannis stuff heat up? I feel like if the Giannis, as Regulator said, if Giannis was to get traded in season, right? I think there's 2 landing spots. I think it's the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. It's the Miami Heat. And then it's the Miami Heat and it's the New York Knicks. Borland said, I mean, Bam's performance is kind of expected against Rudy, though, right? I mean, not if you're a good basketball player. I think then that's not a shot at Rudy. I just mean, like, you should still be able to win matchups here. Let me just look at his last 10 games because maybe I'm making it up. But his last 10 games here. So for Bam, all right. So last night we said 7-11. Against the Pelicans, 12 points and 6 boards. Against the Minnesota, again, 12-9. He did have 15-14 against the Pistons, 13-10 against the Nuggets, 9-12 against Toronto. Like, it's just very mid stuff for what he's doing. So I don't know. Yeah, he'd still say Bam's untouchable. I know. So I guess it's Hero's the piece that they're going to dangle. But I think if you dangle Hero, and not that they're the same player, I think we're going to find out that that he's got similar value to Trae Young. And as we mentioned yesterday, I think what the fans think, or even former players think about Trae Young's trade value or Tyler Hero's trade value, I don't necessarily know if it's what the fans think. You know what I'm saying? I like Kenyon Martin, and I tweeted this out, but Kenyon Martin said he believes the Rockets should trade Reed Shepherd, Jabari Smith, and draft capital for Trae Young. With Kenyon Martin, as I said, it sounds like he's the Kings GM right now. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? That's a terrible trade. Like no one would do that. But anyways, back to Miami. Is Hero Bam? I don't know what they do. They kind of seem like a better version of the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks right now, where they're a little bit more competent and like higher basketball IQ than those teams, but they seem like they're just going to live in that 7-8 seed. I wouldn't be scared of them in a playoff series. So I expect they're going to be pretty active as we get closer to the trade deadline, but who knows? Who knows? Trade for Asia. That would be a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Let's do Cleveland and the Pacers for our guy Stubbs. Man, Cleveland is a mess. Like I know they won this game, and I know they're not healthy. They were missing Donovan Mitchell. Do you know the Indiana Pacers have 6 wins? 6 wins. And this is basically a one-possession game the whole way. They have 6 wins on the season. And I was thinking about it a little bit more. I kind of thought the Celtics were going to be in this situation too. But Indiana is going to, like, they're still going to be needing a big man. We'll talk about Zubats here in a little bit. They're still in need of a big man moving forward. It's a lot of Jay Huff and Isaiah Jackson, and that's not going to get it done. But the fact that they have Tyler Hero, they have Spicy P, they've got Nembhard, they got to decide what they're going to do with Benedict Mathurin. You know, obviously, the short king, TJ McConnell out there. But they are going to land like a top 3 pick. And you get to add one of these win now guys, like, because the top half of this draft, pretty top heavy, is going to be huge, and like somebody that can come in and play right away. And then the Pacers get that, so it feels like they are going to be able to jump right back into where they left off. Again, depending on how they handle the big spots. So the fact that they keep losing these games at this point, I think is great. I would be shocked if they got to 15 wins this year at this point. But anyways, to Cleveland's point. They got Sam Merrill back, who's missed some time. Jared Allen looks great. This is a couple games in a row now where J.A.'s been balling a little bit. 8 for 13 from the field, had 2 steals, 19 and 12. Nice little healthy double-double. Darius Garland finished with 29 and 6. I believe he had like 7 points and 1 assist at halftime. Was surprised to see him get there. But Darius Garland, okay, finally picking it up. But, I mean, they're just playing guys we don't know. You know, Craig Porter Jr., 8, 9, and 9. That's fun. Jalen Tyson, Naquan Tomlin, like that was their bench rotation. Lonzo Ball, I think we might be done with the Lonzo Ball experiment. He can't shoot right now. He's just not giving them enough. And I mean, I don't know what they expected, but maybe like Alex Caruso, not the same player as Alex Caruso, but what I mean by that is like an older guy on this team that just plays 18 minutes or something like that until we get to the postseason, and then you can cook a little bit more. But that's not working for them. So I don't know. I mean, they get the win 21 and 17. They're starting to move up the standings a little bit. It's now January 7th, and they have finally gotten themselves out of the play-in. So congrats to you guys, Cleveland. But to considering this team's over-under was like right around 60, right? And for them to be 4 games over 500 here, like basically at the halfway point of the season is kind of nuts. So anyways, I feel like I'm now shitting on Cleveland after they got a W. You know, you beat the teams in front of you, so whatever. Good win for Cleveland. It's not a good win for Cleveland, but good win for Cleveland. This game was nuts. Washington or Orlando. I actually went back and watched some of the second half this morning while I was prepping for stuff and writing Bagel with Locks, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to Bagel with Locks yet, I think you're kind of a dickhead. I'm going to share a link into the chat right now. Oh, there we go. January 7th is Terry Rozier guaranteed contract day. There you go. I'm going to pay the lawyer's fees at this point. This game was nuts. So look at so Washington goes nuts early, right? They in the third quarter, like it looks like, right, this looks like a close game, 39-37 in the third. Washington outscores Orlando by 11 in the second quarter. They come out, punch them in the mouth in the beginning of the third quarter. Mosley Mosley shuts down the starters, brings in the bench guys. The bench guys come all the way back. Like, look at these minutes. Paolo only played 25. Wendell Carter Jr. only played 20. Bain, 24. It was the bench mob that brought them all back. Noah Red Panda with 10 points. Goga with 10 and 5. You got 20 points out of Jace Richardson. Jet Howard played 16 minutes. But the Magic, man, it might be fire Mosley time. I'm not a big fan of dudes losing their jobs, especially in this economy, right? Like, we don't want that. But, man, this Orlando team, and I know we're talking about Cleveland being stuck with the injury bug. They're still without both Wagners. Jalen Suggs missed another game, although it does sound like he's closer to returning. But, man, Washington is bad. Washington's bad. You can't get cooked like this. They are now 3 games over 500 as well. This is how, like, you look at what Cleveland's doing and what Orlando's doing. This is how Boston's the 2 seed. Yeah, Tyus Jones playing 28 minutes is criminal. I mean, Tyus Jones was playing better than what they were doing. Like, the starters were so bad. Orlando plays tonight. They're on the back end of a back-to-back. And me and the 89 Cavs, baby, we are going to be live from Barclays to see our podcast king.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things and buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Regulator said, when Vog back? I actually don't know. I feel like we haven't gotten an update on that in a while, so I have no idea. Anyways, Wizards get the win. We should give them a little bit of love here. They're in double digits, man. Is this the fastest they've gotten to double digits in a while? I don't know. 10 W's for them though. CJ McCollum was cooking, man. 27, 6 and 5. But Alex Sarr, listen, you want to hang your hat on something fun here? Sarsgaard. Alex Sarr has been cooking. He got to 31 minutes. That's huge. Had 23 points, 7 boards. The block king, 5 blocks and a steal. Even knocked down a couple of triples. This is pretty fun, man. This is pretty fun that they're riding high here. I like what I'm seeing from Sarr. Trey Johnson played 22 minutes. You got Bilal out there defending his ass off. He had 5 steals, 14 and 8. The Champagne Bros cooked yesterday. Justin had 17. But anyways, Washington gets the win. I don't know. Orlando seems like they're not going to be able to make any moves as we get closer to the trade deadline because they've kind of, speaking of powder, like their powder is wet. They've used it on the Bain stuff. They got rid of all of those picks in the Desmond Bain deal. The good news for Orlando is some of the young guys have been playing better. Like we talked about, Jace Richardson, Anthony Black has had a solid season. But if they can't keep Suggs and Wagner on the court, it's not going to matter, right? It's not going to matter. So anyway, shout out the Wizards. This game was fun as hell. Cam Spencer made the thumbnail along Ant-Man. Memphis gets the W 106-105. So I watched the fourth quarter of this game. Because, you want to know why I only saw the fourth quarter? Because your boy was out there balling last night, 40 and over hoops. We played the team that knocked us out of the playoffs last night, all right? We were missing our 3 best players, all right? We were without all of our size pretty much, and this was a big team. And we lost, but it was a really fun game, and we kept it wake. I think the spread would have been, their team name is TFA Elite. It would have been TFA Elite minus 17.5 for sure. That's what the spread would have been. We kept this thing tight the whole way, down 2 or 3 at halftime. And I had to tell you, I was unconscious for the first 5 minutes, 12 minutes of the game. But then the faucet was turned off. The faucet was turned off soon after that. But the game started. I got a block. I got 2 blocks last night. All right? That's 6 fantasy points right there. Now, were the blocks, I got the blocks down low, so maybe they were categorized as a steal, all right? So maybe it was a block down, maybe it was a steal. But early on, swiped the ball, and then was off and running, laid it in, lefty, looked at the hand after we got a lefty, next trip down, hit a corner 3. About a minute later, on the other corner, then above the break, we're at double-digit points in like 7 minutes, not even. And then, after knocking down those 3 threes, and this is going to be, I think, the last basket I made, we took a heat check logo 3. Bang, splash. They had to call timeout. Whoo, we were skipping around. And then we got waxed. But for those 10 minutes, those 15 minutes, pure bliss. We worked in some new kicks last night, too. what are they called? The pink glaze or something like that, which sounds like vibrator lubricant or something. But they were nice. They were nice, nice kicks. Anyways, let's keep going back to this game. But speaking of short white kings, when I got back, Cam Spencer was balling. This game, 105-101 with like a minute left maybe. Cam Spencer steps in, knocks a three down, makes it a 1-point game. They make a stop at the other end, and then Spencer hits like a tough little step back midi, takes a 1-point lead. Spurs have the ball with, I think, 7 seconds, more than 7 seconds left, maybe like 10 seconds left, something like that. And then Fox tries to get to his spot, goes up, and then I think it was, I want to make sure I give the right credit here. Let's see if he's got a block. I think it was Vince Williams Jr. Nope. Maybe they gave it to Coloco. No, Coloco wasn't out there. I don't know. Somebody got a block at the buzzer there. Shut him down. Grizzlies get a win. Big win for Memphis at home, too. They're on the back end of a back-to-back tonight. They lost. No, they didn't lose, but Ja Morant was questionable into this game. Now, Ja's missed 3 straight games. He misses this one. I'm assuming, I don't know if they were like, we're going to play him on the back-to-back. I don't know. But Ja missed that game. You saw Jaren Jackson Jr. had 21 and 9. Most rebounds for JJJ in a while, I think. Also had 5 stocks, 6 turnovers, though. Gigi Jackson got the start. I mentioned Cam Spencer, dude. 21, 8 and 8 on 8 for 15 shooting. He's cooking. He's cooking. Cam Spencer's cooking. Who else did they get? I saw KCP hit a 3 at one point. Santi Aldama, 10 and 9. Memphis, 16 and 20, hanging around. So we'll see. They play tonight as well. 2 games left. Lakers and the Pellies. Luka Magic. Let's do a Luka drop, shall we?
Luka Magic.
All right, it was Luke. Honestly, we need a LeBron drop, I think, because it was LeBron's night. Look at LeBron. 30 points, 8 boards, 8 dimes, 3 for 5 from 3, 10 for 19 from the field, 3 stocks in there as well. LeBron was awesome. I just love targeting teams against the Pelicans. Pelicans play fast. They play loose. It's a fun environment. Luka here also at 30 and 10, only a couple of boards, dominating 18 and 11. Some just weird dialogue with DeAndre Ayton these days. I don't know. I feel like it's going to get a little funky lately. Jake LaRavia, only 5 and 5. I just love LaRavia's game. Smart had to play a lot of minutes. And then Jared Vanderbilt played 29 minutes, but as Borland pointed out, right, you got Maxi Kleber didn't get into the game. Gabe Vincent's dinged up. Rui Hashimura also hurt right now and missing some time. So, Connect had to play 11 minutes. Hayes, 16-10. This is a lot of minutes, though. Smart and Luka playing 37. A lot of minutes. Lakers are actually on a back-to-back tonight, too. And LeBron has already said, hey, I'm going to be questionable every back-to-back from here on out because I'm 41 years old. Respect. But Lakers moved to 23 and 11. They are... honestly, similarly to Minnesota, that I'm I just don't. Although Minnesota, I feel like has more of a ceiling right now. I don't trust the record, I guess is what I'm saying. They're still getting W's without playing awesome basketball, and so I guess that's good. 12 games over 500 in the Western Conference. Yeah, that is good. I just don't trust what I'm seeing right now outside of Luka and LeBron, but they need a little bit more help. Zion played 33 minutes last night. They're on a back-to-back tonight, too. That's got my little antennas up, my little Zakarian antennas. I don't know. Is he going to play tonight? Herb Jones came back, though, and he played 30-plus minutes. That's a good sign. But look at Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy had was kind of off to a middling start, right? Wasn't really cooking early. Last 10 games, he's been on fire. He knocks down 6 triples. He took 17, though. Holy shit. 42 points, 5 boards, and 3 dimes. He was lighting it up. Zion was not, even though he played 33 minutes, just 15 and 5 there. I mentioned Herb Jones was out there for 35 minutes. Queen, 10, 13, and 8. This team's just fun. You got 23 minutes from Jose Alvarado. Good win for the Lakers. Pelicans continue to be a fun league pass team. They're going to make the team they're playing play fast and fun. They're going to keep it relatively competitive most nights and lose. It's just fun. If they had their own first round pick, it'd be a perfect season. And then I'm ashamed to admit this. The last game of the night, 11 p.m. Eastern start time on the cock. I watched 3/4 of this game. What is wrong with me? I'll tell you what it was. Adrenaline was coursing through my veins after that game, my own basketball game. So I was sitting back, sipping on the. Also, can we just rank beers real quick? Just a real quick ranking. And I haven't thought through this yet. Well, Sanjay Rich, you watched the whole thing, you sicko. All right, let's rank these beers. I think the airport beer pre-flight, one of the best beers. It's one of the best beers you can consume. I am gonna put that number one. I think that is my favorite beer. Second, right now for me personally, post basketball game beer. Also, I should note all of these are one beers. I don't want 2 beers before the flight. I've done that. I don't want that. I'd prefer just one. All right, 1 beer before the flight. Second beer is the one after a basketball game. That A+ stuff. That's like my favorite. It's probably the slowest beer that I drink too. Like you just sit back and relax. I had an ice pack on my back and my ankle for a little while. Then we switched to heat. All right, A+ stuff. Third, I like where Boston Base is going at like the ski lodge. Ski lodge is great. No, I agree with this. Post lawn mowing when I go home. Absolutely. That's in the top 5. Yeah. A lot of people with the lawn. Beer and pizza. I actually don't love. I feel like I really like having a drink before dinner. I don't like having the beer with dinner. I've learned. Blackjack table beer rings pretty high for me. Yeah, that's pretty good too. The blackjack beer is pretty good. That's another good one. Pre-poontang beer. All right, Stan. There's one more that I think I'm forgetting. Oh, I like just before an event too. I like if I know I'm going somewhere and I'm like getting ready to get out. That's pretty good. Random but horse races beer, very underrated. That's a good one. Top of the morning beer for breakfast on holiday. Okay, a porter with Oreos is amazing. This is what we should be. We should be doing more of this shit. Yeah, I think holiday beer in general, really, really good. Pre-wedding beer, yeah, that's what I'm talking. Like pre-event beer is really good. This one, sure. Funeral beer, yeah, for sure. I just came up with another one while I was doing it. We said random, but horse races and beer underrated. I will always pay like $18 for a stadium beer too, like a baseball game beer. That's the only time I'll drink like a Coors Light too. At I was gonna say a Red Sox game, but it's been a long time since I've been at Fenway. But at like a Mets game, because that's where I live now. Really close. Also, that's a great venue to watch a baseball game. Anyways, good stuff. That was good work, everybody. That was good work. Golf beer, golf ball beer too. Golf ball. Jesus, golf beer is great. That's like in preferring like the start of the back nine. That's like the best sound opening that bad boy. All right, that was good. Good stuff, everybody. Yeah, so I stayed up for this game. Wait, Sanjay Rich, you pointed something. Westbrook waving off Levine so many times, then missing a jumper was hilarious. Yeah, Westbrook was he had some like wild stuff in this game. There was another time too at the end of the first half where he was like, I think he was like screaming at Max Renault, but he wasn't screaming. He was like jumping up and down, I think because he was just not turned around fast enough. It was a really weird sequence. But yeah, Levine and DeRozan were not touching the ball for like large stretches of the time. And the only reason I know this is because I needed both Levine and DeRozan to do some stuff late to save my night in the fantasy basketball world. And he just kept stepping into jumpers, man. I don't understand why Russ is on the Kings. I don't. And Malik Monk, again, was it a DNP for Malik Monk? Yeah, it doesn't get into the game. They should be charged for war crimes. Also, another take here is okay. So end of the game, he waved off everyone and shot a step back 3 on AD to try to win it. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Hey, can I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I feel like Precious Achiuwa is good. I don't mean like 20-10 good. I don't mean he should be starting. I think if he's starting for your team, you're fucked. but I think he should stick around. Like, I feel like he goes to a different team every year. I like his game. He's springy. I feel like he gets up there and gets in the way, rim protects a little bit. I really like him. I like his game. And I'm always surprised that he just can't stick with teams. So maybe that's just me not knowing ball. And again, I'm not saying a staple for a championship caliber team, but I like him. Maxime Renaud, 14-9. Russ, 4 for 15, 1 for 7 from 3. Chef's kiss, baby. He finished with 11, 6, and 4. DeRozan here, knocking down 3 triples, huh? 21-5 from him, 3 stocks. And Zach LaVine played 37 minutes back in the starting lineup after coming off the bench in his first game back. He had 20. I don't know if Sneeps is in the chat, but your boy Dougie McBuckets got 5 minutes last night. Schroeder had 11-9. But it was the AD and Cooper Flag show. And listen, I think the Con Knipple stuff is cute. And I think he's going to be awesome. And I understand he should be in top 3 of Rookie of the Year. And I think the Hornets should be very excited about their future. Cooper Flag is Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flag is awesome. He was sick last night. There was a scary moment where I don't know who he banged knees with, but he went down and then he did this thing where he like contorted his body when he was on the ground because he was in pain. And I was like, fuck, he just tore his ACL. And then all of a sudden there was a timeout and the lights came down and they showed a clip of this. I don't know if it was on the broadcast. Yeah, they showed a clip of this. And so they were doing some sort of in-arena timeout thing where the lights, you felt like you were in a rave. Right, that was happening. And then you see him doing these like exercises to make sure he's good. And it just was really funny. It was a funny cut too with the light doing that. But anyways, turns out I think he was just banging knees. Banging knees, baby. But anyways, he comes back into the game. He was awesome. Cooper Flag was awesome. He looked at him and AD just looked pretty dominant in this one. He had 20 points, 8 boards, and 6 dimes on 8 for 15 shooting. AD 19 and 16, couple blocks. Danny Gafford 10 and 13. Future Celtics Daniel Gafford. Yes, it is Boston base. It is. Actually, somebody said Happy New Year's to me when I was walking the dog, and I immediately thought of Larry David. And then what else? Anything else from Dallas? Shout out Brandon Williams, who essentially had the game winner here, 18 points for him. I like his game too. And then Klay Thompson, 2 for 8 from 3. He was inspired by what he was seeing from Russell Westbrook. Let's poke at the standings here before we check in tonight. You got the Pistons, Celtics, Bing Bong Boys. That's your top 4. Cavs, as I mentioned, they slid into the top 6, snuck ahead of the Orlando Magic by a half game, and the Miami Heat for that matter. And then it's Chicago, A-Town, whatever. The West Side, look, dude, this is what I was talking about. Rockets and Timberwolves, they're right there, sniffing that 2 seed. Lakers move percentage points ahead of the Denver Nuggets, who are back in action tonight. And then down here, Grizzlies in the 10 seed. Mavs leap over the Clips, who are back in action tonight. Let's actually just go into tonight's stuff right now. Who has the better team surrounding him, Cooper or Con Knipple? I mean, I think that is going to depend on how Dallas approaches the rest of the season. It's crazy to me that Dallas would still be trying to win. I feel like they have to sell this team for parts and then go get another lottery pick to pair next to Cooper Flag. And then if Derek Lively stays healthy, that's a lot of fun, right? I don't know. To me, that's a no-brainer. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. So I like Cooper Flag's ceiling way more. And I mean, if you have Anthony Davis next to Cooper Flag, then it's them. But I'm more excited about the young core of Charlotte. I really like Brandon Miller, man. Brandon Miller's coming on real nice. Is Kyrie coming back this season? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to play. That would be my take. We could use a GM first. You don't like having 2 GMs right now? Don't you have 2 interim GMs and a Mark Cuban? Anyways, all right, let's do tonight. Raptors and the Hornets, baby. Raps are favored by 1.5. Wow, only 1.5. Do they have somebody out, or is that just massive respect for this new Charlotte run? The Raps are without Jakob Poeltl, and somebody named Chucky Hepburn is questionable. All right, wow. Hornets, on the other hand, they're without Plumdog, Grant Williams, and Big Cock, and then Shaline is questionable. Miles Bridges, just real quick, man. Last 3 games, 25-6, 26-14, 17-11-4. Really decent matchup for him tonight because they're just playing. They don't have bigs right now. So, like, even though Musa Diabate is going to start, Miles Bridges is required to do a little bit more. So, I like his action in tonight's stuff. All right, Chicago Bulls and Detroit basketball. Bulls are without Zach Collins, Noah Esenge, Josh Giddey-Up, and Jalen Smith. Matas Bucelis and Kobe White, both questionable. Kobe White returned for the Celtics game on Monday night. He came off the bench, was limited to 25 minutes. I imagine that's something similar. Bucelis, on the other hand, has been logging big minutes. He's questionable with an illness. That makes me a little bit nervous. I hate to do this, but Nikola Vucevic has been hooping from a fantasy perspective because they've been so thinned out. 40 fantasy points in his future. But the real story here for Detroit is, man, if there was ever a time for B-Ball Paul to get loose, right? Because we know the Pistons are without Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, Karis LeVert, and Duncan Robinson should be back. Cade Cunningham's also probable, but I expect he's going to be fine. B-Ball Paul's played 30 minutes and 25 minutes in Duren's absence. Beef Stew has played 31 and 31. They're going to get loose tonight. Chicago, with no Jalen Smith, too, they just have no interior defense whatsoever, so they should go absolutely nuts. I mean, everybody should go nuts. The only problem is, does this game get out of hand? 76ers are favored by just about 2 touchdowns tonight against the Washington Wizards. The Wiz are on back-to-back here. They're without Cam Whitmore and Keyshawn George. Are they getting Kispert back tonight? Did Kispert play last night? He didn't play last night, but it looks like he's off the injury report. He's going to play today. Or I guess he came back against Minnesota. One thing I'll note, Sarr has been playing back-to-backs, but has been pretty bad in those second games, and he played 33 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if around 11:30 a.m. this morning we get a ding. Alex Sarr is questionable for tonight. So pay attention to that. On the Philly side of stuff, Joel Embiid is questionable, and Embiid has been probable the last couple of games when he's gone. So I think this might be a legit questionable tag. We do know that Embiid really gets up for games against shitty teams, and they're coming off a loss on Monday night against that Denver team when they rested all of their starters. So I don't know. I'm back and forth. I think this is like a legit questionable tag for him. Trendon Watford and Kelly Oubre, by the way, both questionable. If they get those guys back, they haven't played in like months, so I imagine there's some real minute restrictions on those guys, but I do think that is a slight ding to the ceilings of Paul George and Quentin Grimes, and then any like a Dominic Barlow, those types of guys. VJ Edgecombe has been fucking hooping, man. And I projections every time they come out, they're like, oh, you got to fade VJ today. And then he continues to get there. I like this more if Embiid sits, but regulator said, can you bet on how often Embiid falls down every game? Probably on Khaleesi or whatever. Did you see they're not paying people, or Khaleesi, that they're not paying people out for stuff? I was seeing something going around that they people who bet on some 49ers bet that won, and instead of paying them out, they just reimbursed it. I don't know. Weird. DJP was asking about CJ. Yeah. So McCollum played a lot of minutes last night, but I don't know. Yeah, he played 38 minutes. Shit. Yeah, maybe there's a chance McCollum sits. How many minutes did Middleton play? Middleton played 22. I mean, if CJ sits, it's a nice little bump to Bubby Carrington, especially because they sat Kispert last night. I don't know. Khaleesi. What is it called? Oh, Kalshi? I don't know what the fuck it's called. I don't. Boston Base is a professional gambler over there, though. Denver Nuggets and the Beantown Boys. Celtics are pretty healthy, right? I think they've got Josh Minot is ruled out. Other than that, ready to go. Denver's weird, though, right? So David Adelman on Sunday after that Brooklyn game was like, hey, we're going to rest everybody. And then, so I thought they were all going to be back tonight no matter what, right? And I'm surprised Jamal Murray's listed with a questionable tag. According to Underdog, or this is RotoWire, Murray is listed as questionable for Wednesday's game versus Boston. The Q tag comes as a bit of a surprise, as it was assumed he was given a maintenance day on Monday. Several other Nuggets sat out as well, with Murray's ankle issue still lingering. It could be Jalen Pickett night. For the Celtics to be favored by almost double digits, I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised by all of this. I think Jamal Murray goes. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. goes. Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon are both questionable. My guess is that they both play, or everybody plays, and that Murray and Brown are somewhat limited. We saw Christian Brown start in his first game back, played 24 and a half minutes. Aaron Gordon, I think, played 21 minutes off the bench. I'm assuming it's something similar. Magic Murillo says, do they rest everyone for the back-to-back since they beat Philly? But it's, maybe. So they play tomorrow too. Is that what you're saying? But they just did rest everybody. So they play who do they play tomorrow? They play the Hawks at home tomorrow. You're saying they think they can beat. They think they can beat Atlanta if they're good to go. Where Boston they probably can't. I don't know. I'm playing Murray in too. I'm playing him in this morning. I've only done 10 drafts, but I think I have him in like 7 of them. That's a good take, though, Murillo. That is a good take. I thought Boston-based, that's me too, man. That's me too. Yeah, and Murray's going to be an all-star for sure. All-NBA might be a little bit trickier, but he's been hooping, baby. All right, let's go back to tonight here. All right, Pelicans and Hawks. Pelly's on the back-to-back. I don't know what they're going to do, man. Herb Jones, I imagine, sits after playing 34 minutes. Maybe they give him the night off. Zion is the one that I'm really concerned about because he's been playing somewhere between 28 and like exactly 30 minutes and playing 33 minutes, although he played like shit, so maybe he goes. But, man, if the Pelicans can keep this game close, this is going to be awesome. 246.5 point total. You just need him to keep the game close. And Trae Young is questionable tonight. I don't think he's going to play another game for the Hawks. I'd be surprised. I feel like Trae Young's for sure gone. And if Trae does not go, the Nuggets are on the front end of a back-to-back. I think they play tomorrow, right? Isn't that what I said? They play tomorrow against the Hawks? No? Anyways, let's keep going. Did I mess that up? Oh, no, they're not on a back-to-back. Okay, that's Friday. I clicked the wrong date. Thank you, DJP. Good shout, DJP. Good shout. Yeah, so then there we go. I think that Jamal Murray's playing tonight. Good catch, DJP. So back to this game. Yeah, if they can keep this game close, this is going to be fun as hell. Dyson Daniels in a quick game with lots of turnovers. Dyson absolutely murdered me the other night. I'm going to be going back to the Dyson Daniels well. I don't think Trey's going to play, and even if he does play, I think it's fine. Yeah, Jalen Johnson, triple-double, sure. Light it up. Onyeka Okongwu should do absolute work in this game. I'm excited about it. Magic and the Nets. Well, Michael Porter Jr., Magic favored by 1.5. That's how bad Orlando is right now. I'm just going to keep moving. Clippers and the Bing Bong Boys. This line started at 5.5, slid to 4.5. James Harden is questionable tonight. He's going really late in underdog drafts for it being James Harden. I'm going to be drafting the fuck out of him this morning and then just see what happens. I think it's a real questionable tag, but I'm drafting him. Suns and Grizzlies, they're on back-to-backs tonight as well. I'm just the Grizzlies, not the Suns. Yeah, Ja's questionable. I don't know. I don't know what to make of Ja. If Ja's out, though, go back to Cam Spencer. However, Cedric Coward might be back tonight, too. So we need a lot of info there. And then we get to the 8 o'clock game. This is the last game on the main slate on Underdog. It's the Jazz and the Thunder. Thunder are now favored by 19.5. I don't know, man. I don't know. The Thunder have been so bad lately. They're like 500 in their last 10. I don't know. Keontae's cooked in this matchup before. I don't know. And then if Trey was traded to the Warriors, how many practices before he gets punched? Yeah, seriously. Right away, dude. Right away. Oh, Alan A in the chat. And then for some late night action. So the Lakers against the Spurs. How many minutes did Wemby play? Wemby's on a strict minute restriction. They win this game. The Spurs win this game last night if Wemby wasn't on a minute restriction because they took him out with 3.5 minutes left because he had played 21 minutes. He had 30 points, 5 boards, 3 dimes, a steal, and a block in 21 fucking minutes. If he played 22 minutes, they win the game. But they didn't. They didn't play him 22 minutes. LeBron's questionable. Spurs are favored by 7.5. I think LeBron sits this one. And that the Spurs win. I bet Wemby plays again and then only plays 20 minutes. Then you have the Bucks and the Warriors. Warriors favored by 6.5. And then Rockets and Trailblazers to end the night. I haven't dug too deep into the late slate because it's not on the main slate, so we'll have to do it later. These hands on 2x. You know what? Let's end with that. We can end with that. You want to end with these hands? We can end today's show with that at 2x because I don't really have anything else, and I'm a little sleepy today. Let's get these hands, and okay, so we got to put it at 2x. Wait, I think they said let's do it at 1.5 first, and then we can do it at 2x. Did I do it? Yeah, it's at 1.5. All right, let's share screen here. No Zag play. Yeah, dude. You know what? The slate was kind of beefy. Okay, before we do these hands, let's do it. Let's go over to underdog. So let's blow this up a little bit. Yeah, I didn't love a Zag plant. I think like my biggest take is that I want a lot of Atlanta. So like Onyeka here, I think I need to move Onyeka up a little bit more. I think I want to really prioritize that game in Charlotte and Toronto. Like, I think Miles Bridges is an awesome 6-round click. I think Dyson Daniels is an awesome 6-round click. You want to know a fun one? I think we could see, here we go. This is a fun Zag plant, but what I would say is I only want like 5 shares of this. I don't want a lot of it. I think Peyton Pritchard goes for like 40 actual points tonight. And I'm just thinking, does Peyton Watson get the Ja Morant? I mean, the Ja Morant. I saw you put Ja Morant in the chat, and that's why I said that. Does Peyton Watson like smother Jaylen Brown, and it just lets Peyton Pritchard go tonight? They put CB on Derek White when he's out there, and then he just picks on Jamal Murray. I don't know. I kind of like Peyton Pritchard to hit like 8 threes tonight. Any thoughts on Greenland? No, I don't. I'm not weighing in on Greenland right now. I need to read up first. Yeah, John the 6 is good for swaps. But Dyson Daniels and Miles Bridges are like my 2 favorite plays down there. RJ Barrett played 30+ minutes, and then Derek Queen's not getting drafted. And if you think the Pelicans get a little frisky on the back-to-back and rest some guys, like if Zion gets the night off, if Herb Jones gets the night off, they might get Sadiq Bey back, but man, I like it. Pritchard in 40 points, put the pipe down. He's starting to heat up a little bit, man. I think it could happen. Let PP cook. Let fast PP cook. All right, let's get these hands. And then, Alan, you said you're in 11th. All right, man. Good luck. All right, is it this one? Let's go. So this is at 2. What did I put it at? 1.5. I put it at 1.5. Let's go. I've never heard it like this. Oh.
Same hands that work the pain. Same hands I fold and prep. 12 years and I'm still learning what it means to really care. They see me on the court at night, but that ain't all I am. From Ames to San Antonio, trying to serve a bigger plan. These hands that give, these hands that live, more than buckets, more than pills. These hands that give, these hands that reach to every child that needs to live.
Oh, man.
That's the real gift.
That is crazy. That was like, dude, I feel like I just took a bump of something. Yeah, man. Let's get Derek Queen. Let's just call it Derek Queen now. That's a real gift. Let's just call it Derek Queen night now. We're gonna call it there. If you haven't gone and subscribed to Bagel with Locks yet, please go do it. Also, I didn't realize this. I didn't realize Raleigh Dunks was Errol in the chat yesterday, who was saying thanks for the Bagel with Locks. But he took down 9K the other night. Hell yeah. Congrats, Raleigh Dunks. Hopefully somebody else hits soon too. We'll call it there. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh no, wait, hold on. No NBA bit tomorrow. Unless my schedule changes, but I'm almost positive. I'm shooting a video for a friend. I am at #acting tomorrow. So acting in something tomorrow. So I don't think we're going to have an NBA bit. We will be back on Friday, though. Maybe I'll do a little Thursday afternoon thing for you guys. I'll be back on Friday with the NBA bit and Live Before Lock. And then you know what? Then I'm going to see Marty Supreme. And I'm very excited about that. All right. Enjoy the day. It's warmer here in the Northeast. You'd love to see that. We'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Probably Friday.